and welcome back to my channel. My name is Alison, the online piano and the online violin tutor. So since we've just had the new year, a lot of you have been buying violins in the quest to start learning to play the violin. And you're getting your new violins and obviously you've got to tune them. And a few of you are leaving in the comments saying that you're not quite sure how to tune the violin, you're a little bit scared to tune the violin, or that you have tuned the violin and you've broken a string. So I've already done a couple of videos on how to tune the violin and what sort of what methods you can do to tune your violin, and I will leave those videos linked underneath. But essentially, tuning the violin is really easy and it's very self-explanatory. But I'm just going to give you one or two tips as to the reason why you're going to break a string, or the reasons why people do break strings, so that you know not to do that. So if you want to tune a string, so you can hear my D string isn't in tune. Now the first thing you need to do is to work out whether that string is too high or too low. 99.9% of the time it's going to be too low. So what you're going to have to do is use the peg to tune it to the pitch that it wants to be tuned. So again, you can use various different methods. I've got a D'Addario NS micro tuner. You can use a piano, you can use an app on your phone, whatever it is that you want to use to determine the sound that you want to get to. So you need the sound of a D, for example. If I want to tune this D string, so all I'm going to do is just move the peg up until I get to where I need to go. If you're having problems with your peg slipping, I've got another video on how to solve slipping pegs and things like that. That generally happens with the cheaper, kind of more student quality violins, just purely because of the price point that they're at. I will put a link to that video directly underneath in the description bar as well. Because there's like 5 solutions on how to solve slipping pegs. That will be in a different video. So you've got your violin, you're tuning up the violin with the pegs. You will need to use the pegs to tune in. Now your violin might have 4 tuners. This one's only got 1. Your violin will probably have 4 tuners on it. Now these are fine tuners, so these will finely tune. When you're almost to the point where the peg needs to be, or the string needs to be, you would then just use these little fine tuners just to ever so slightly tweak, just enough to where you need to go that you can't do with the peg. So you might need to move ever so slightly, but the peg then takes you over that. You've got to go down and you go back over. So it can be a bit of a nightmare. So that's where the fine tuners come in. So when you first get the violin, or you're changing a new set of strings, for example, you're going to need to use the pegs. Now the number one reason people break strings is when they yank the pegs too far round and too fast. So I need to just get to the next note. So that isn't perfect. So it's just for the purpose of this video. But you can see there, I wasn't actually yanking the peg so far. I was just moving the peg. You probably couldn't see me because I was too far away, but you could hear that I was only moving the peg a slight amount of time. If I just move it back again and maybe move another one and show you. So that's about where I need to go for that one. So you can hear that I'm moving it very, very slightly. Some of you that play the guitar, you might have Whitner pegs, or you might have the machine pegs. Tuning a guitar is very, very different to tuning a violin. The strings on the guitar are much sturdier, they're much more harder wearing, and they're a lot longer as well, and they're also a lot thicker. So when you're tuning a guitar and you've got roving pegs, or the Whitner pegs, or the machine ones that you move around, you can just keep twisting them and it's not a problem because it's working all inside the peg box. With the violin, you cannot do that with violin pegs and strings because you will break the string, especially if you've got a new set of strings. What you're trying to do is you put tension on that string now, and you're trying to tune it up, and it's just almost like the equivalent of getting an elastic band and just yanking that elastic band really, really fast, you're going to snap it. Whereas if you kind of pull it gently, it's getting used to being at that kind of stretch level that it's at. And that's what you're doing with the strings. If you pull them too fast, they'll just come unwind and they'll just completely snap off. So slowly is the key.
Slowly is the key.
Slowly and gently. The other reason why you might be having problems tuning strings is not necessarily that the peg is slipping, but I have found when I'm winding up strings on cheaper student quality violins, when you are putting the string through the peg, if you don't pull enough out the other side, what you can find is when your peg is tuning, when you are tuning and you are moving the peg, the wound string that is round the peg is kind of loosening itself and coming back on itself and pulling out. So what you actually need to do is make sure that when you're pulling the string through the hole in the peg, especially if you're replacing the string, that you do pull enough out. So you probably need maybe a good centimetre, maybe a centimetre to 2 centimetres, maybe 10 millimetres or maybe 20 millimetres of string that you kind of pull through, so that when you're tightening it up and it is winding round, it won't then kind of unravel and loosen. And what you can do as well is that kind of little bit that you've got left over, see if you can kind of trap it around the kind of the twining of the string, if that kind of makes sense. The other reason that your strings might break when you're tuning them is if they are coming unwound. So I'm not sure if you can quite clearly see on that clip, but what I was showing you was this A string is starting to unwind itself. Now it'll be alright for a little bit, but I know that each time I tune it, it's probably going to get looser and looser, and then, you know, one day, tomorrow, the next day, whatever, I'll go to tune it, and then the string will just snap. So it's just about the maintenance of your strings as well. So if you see that your string is becoming unwound, you must change it immediately, because it will literally break it any minute. I've had them before where they've been like that, maybe just on kind of student violins, and the student has been playing away and literally the string has just completely come unwound, and half of it's left in the peg box, half of it's just kind of sprung off, and you know that string is no good. If a string is broken like that, then you can't use it again and you'll have to get another one. So there we go, just a couple of reasons of why you might break strings when you tune the violin, but there's nothing to be afraid of when you tune the violin. It's a very, very simple process, but the two things that you should take away from this is that you must take your time. When I put a full set of strings on, for example, it takes me a good 25 minutes, half an hour to actually tune a full set of strings, because you'll be tuning and then you'll have to go back to the E string again, and then by the time you've gone back to the bottom, you're having to tune it all again. So it'll take a little while to do that. And also you have to move slowly, slowly, slowly. Slowly is the key. If you just try and move the string from, say, if you're trying to tune the A string and you're moving it from a C all the way up to an A, and you just turn that peg round and you yank it round, I can guarantee that you will break that string. So you just do it a little bit by little bit. Maybe do a little bit on the A string, take it up a few notches, go on to the next string. Whilst you're going on to the next string, that A string can then be used to being stretched at that level. When you go on to the next string, do the same. Take it up a little bit more, let that get used to that level, whatever it is, go on to the next string, and so on. So you're kind of staggering it around. You're going kind of in order, starting with the A, D, G, E, come back to A, move it up a little bit more, go back to D, move it up a little bit more. So take your time with it, and slowly. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope it's been helpful to you and that you're no longer scared to tune your violin, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.